What's up, everybody? Welcome back into another episode of Tide Talk Live. Stacy Blackwood here, joined as always by Jake Thomas. Jake, how you doing tonight, buddy?
Doing good, man. Just it's a little late here, so apologize if I doze off a little bit, but I'm give out. But we're going to bring you some running back room talk tonight before we head on to bed. So I'm going to stay awake for it.
Yeah, I think this is a good conversation that you'll be alive and well for. Then we can head off to bed. But yeah, Jake, we're going to be talking about the running back room for 2023 for Alabama. Of course, Jahmyr Gibbs is moving on, so that leaves a little bit of question marks on how the depth chart is going to kind of shake up. We're going to talk about that here in just a minute. But as always, you guys know the drill. Smash that like button if you're not already. Subscribe to the channel. Also, jump in the comment section and let us know what you think the depth chart will look like at the running back position here in 2023. Really excited to see what everybody thinks there. We've had great interaction on our last video on the quarterback room talk, and just keep that great comment section blowing up like you did on that video. And we look forward to reading all those and kind of interacting with you there. Also, follow the link in the description below. Sign up today for BetUS using our link. And when you do, you receive 125% bonus on your first deposit. That is free money. So if you put in $100, they're going to give you another 125 to play with, free money. And also, when you do that, you will be eligible for our drawing that we will have if we reach 30 signups from that link. And it's not just any kind of giveaway, it's $500. So
Yeah.
I don't know what you're waiting on. Sign up today so you can receive that free money from BetUS and also have a chance to win that $500 courtesy of myself and Jake. All right, buddy. Look, there's really no way around it. Losing Jahmyr Gibbs is going to hurt the Alabama offense, but it doesn't mean that they can't recover from it in a different type of way, because I
Hmm.
don't really see a Jahmyr Gibbs top player on this roster. The closest one would be Jace McClellan, the guy who has the most ability out of the backfield catching the ball that we know about. So, Jake, I want to hear who you think it's going to be. Is it going to be a 1-2 punch? Is it going to be a three-headed monster? How do the two true freshmen that are just five-star talent and they're just oozing with ability, how do they fit into the rotation? So, Jake, I just want to hear your thoughts on this running back room here in 2023.
Yeah, you're right, man. Losing Jameer is going to hurt next season. I mean, he was a special player. He created so much opportunities out of the backfield, and like you said, we really don't have a guy like that. Maybe, like you said, Jace McClellan would be that guy moving forward. But um, I think obviously we have two guys that have really good experience coming back, and Jason McClellan and Roydell Williams. Both of them, I believe, are primed to have big seasons. And another question is not only with the two true freshmen coming in who are absolutely studded with talent, but what is Miller fall into place as well, because when he got the ball late in the season, in garbage time, he looked really, really tough and a really hard runner. And so I'm anxious to see how this running back room plays out. I know these two freshmen coming in will want playing time and will be fighting for playing time. But, if it is just a 1-2 punch starting out with Jace and Roydell, I'm perfectly fine with both of them guys because I think they can get the job done.
Yeah, I see more of a three-back system probably
Hmm.
being featured this year for Alabama. Look, it's going to be hard to take carries away, in my opinion. True running back carries away from Jamarian Miller. I think he's probably the
Hmm.
most naturally gifted runner that is on campus right now for Alabama, and I'm not counting Justice Haynes yet. I know, even though he practiced with the team leading up to the Sugar Bowl, because technically he's not on campus right now because he's not in school.
Right.
So because he's not enrolled just yet because he doesn't start till next week. So I'm talking about Jace, Roydell, and Jamarian. I think the most naturally gifted runner is Jamarian Miller. So I think he's
Hmm.
going to receive his fair share of carries. But I also see a role for Jace McClellan because of his ability to make plays in the passing game out of the backfield. He also shows home run ability, Jake. He had a 80-something yard touchdown run his freshman year. He broke
Hmm.
an 80-yarder this year against what was it, Texas early in the
Texas.
season. So he has some home run ability. He has some ability out of the backfield as a pass catcher. And then Roydell is a guy who we saw this year was really physical down the goal line and goal-to-goal situations. Also, he is a really good pass protector. Probably out of the three guys that played most this season was the best at protecting Bryce Young there in the backfield. So there's obviously, I think, a role for all three of those players. Now, you look at the two true freshmen that are coming in. Did Nick Saban and his staff somehow convince that, arguably the two best running backs in the entire country to come to Alabama to not play?
Right. Yeah.
So I'm not going to pretend like I have the answers, but that just doesn't make sense to me. Either they're all in on Bama and they believe in their future there, or maybe they know something we don't know. I mean, look, it's not out of the realm of possibility that Jace or Roydell are not even on the roster next year.
Right.
I mean, both of them are obviously draft eligible. The transfer portal is still alive. I'm not saying I'm hearing any of that. I'm just saying that is certainly a possibility, and that's something that the coaches have to kind of take into account when they're filling their roster spots when it comes to signing day. So I think that's a couple things to kind of keep in mind, kind of in the back of your mind, that there's still potential for somebody that's on the roster right now to not be there next year, and that could open up something for either Justice Haynes or Richard Young or both.
Yeah, I agree 100%, man. Jace, at the time we were recording this, Jace is still on the team. Like you said, he is draft eligible. He would probably be maybe a third round back at this point, but if he comes back, he probably push in the early seconds, maybe first round, late first round guy. He has that ability and that potential in my mind. And then Roydell, you talked about him being physical. If he's on the team next year, he'll be a great third down back, especially in the goal line, because you get down 1-2 yard line, third and goal. He's just a big bruiser who can knock it in. But yeah, your assessment on the two true freshmen as well, man. Like we said, are they wanting to come here just to sit on the bench for a year? I just don't know, what the future is for them. Well, I know what the future is, but this year, this coming up year for them, because like you said, I don't think Saban brought them in and got them to sign just to sit on the bench for a year.
Yeah, as far as what Jace McClellan's draft chances are, I would say that he's more likely to transfer than to enter the draft. But I don't really see either happening. I think Jace has a chance. I think Jace has a chance to kind of prove something in his senior season. He kind of battled injuries. He hurt his knee last year or in 2021. So he didn't really get to play much that season. But I thought he had a really solid year for Alabama here in his true junior season, kind of sharing that role of RB1 with Jahmyr Gibbs. And I think McClellan's probably better than what most Alabama fans believe he is. He runs physical. He's not an overly big guy, but you saw really from the two guys to me that stood out from the offense from the Ole Miss game to the end of the season were Jermaine Burton and Jace McClellan.
Right.
When I talk about the offensive side of the football, those two guys really improved so much the last quarter of the season that I'm really excited to kind of see how their senior years play out. And I think Jace McClellan could kind of surprise some people, not only at a national level, but also locally here as for Alabama fans. I think he could have a really good senior season. And to me, the guy that is really the most up in the air of returning players is Roydell Williams, simply because I think he's an okay runner. He's not going to wow you with anything. He's a short yardage back, and he's a good pass protector. But how does that fit in with what Alabama is going to do next season as an offense? So that's really the biggest question mark in the room is what does Alabama do with Roydell Williams? To me, because I think Jace McClellan has a bright future, and I think Jamarian Miller is maybe the most naturally gifted runner that's in Tuscaloosa at the moment.
Yeah, I agree, man. And you said it best. We said this in our QB room talk a couple days ago, but same situation here. It's going to depend on what kind of offense coordinator we bring in and who they play their abilities out to. It will probably be Jace McClellan and scheming up for him. And like you said, what is that going to leave Roydell Williams? And I mean, I do think that Miller mid-season next year could probably be pushing that 2 spot, maybe even pushing Jace to be that number one guy. So, there is a lot of great talent in the running back room here at Alabama, and like you said, we got the two guys coming in as well, and we're not even mentioned, even though he lined up wide receiver last year, but he can be a running back as well, and that's Emmanuel Henderson. So, how does he play out?
I think Henderson is for sure going to be a slot receiver.
That's what I think too.
The coaching staff, from everything I've been told, the coaching staff really believes that he, maybe not in 2023, but like in 2024, could be a special player for Alabama from the slot. So I think he's going to stick it out at wide receiver. I think has a bright future from that spot there in the slot. We've talked about how everyone's going to utilize these running backs. The great thing about running backs is kind of like wide receivers, you can have more than one on the field at one time.
Right.
So I think, and we saw Jace and Jahmyr play, a pretty good bit together this season. I'm trying to look up the stats this year from Jace McClellan just to kind of get an idea of how many carries he had. And he had 112 carries, Jake, compared to 151 from Jahmyr Gibbs. So, not too much difference there. And Jace finished with 655 yards on 5.8 yards a carry and had 7 touchdowns on the season. So, I mean, if Gibbs had 150, if Jace gets to 150 next season, I wouldn't be surprised to see, Jamarian Miller with around 100. Roydell had 56 this year. I could see about that same number for Roydell next season. So I really see the numbers kind of being split a lot like they were this year. Maybe Jace having a little bit more than Jamarian, then Jamarian have the second most, and Roydell with the third, and maybe Justice Haynes and Richard Younger kind of fighting for that Jamarian Miller role that he carried this last year in Tuscaloosa. But I'm super excited to kind of see how this room plays out. And the good news is, Jake, we're going to get to see Justice Haynes for sure. I'm not sure if Richard Young is enrolling early. Whoever's watching, comment in the comment section if you know for sure. I want to say he is enrolling early, but I could be mistaken. But I know for sure we're going to see Justice Haynes in the spring. So we might see all of them, which would be incredible. So, and then we'll obviously know a lot more by the end of spring. But it's been fun to kind of talk about this room and how excited we are about the depth that is coming to the running back rotation. And also, Jake, there's really good experience returning. Unlike quarterback, there's plenty of experience returning in the running back room. So that's definitely a position of strength, I believe, for Alabama, and one that I'm really excited about here in 2023.
Yeah, I agree 100%, man. And one more thing I want to mention, it'd be one of our upcoming videos is talking about the offensive line, but I believe Alabama's supposed to get more to a physical standpoint on the offensive line. So you're going to have some maulers up front that's probably going to be opening up some big holes for whoever the running back's going to be. So get ready to see that next year as well.
No doubt. I can't wait to talk about the offensive line here in a few days or here on the channel. And just so you don't miss that, make sure you are subscribed to the channel. Make sure you smash that like button, hit that notification bell so you get notified every time we make a new upload here on Tide Talk Live. Follow the link in the description below and sign up for BetUS. Receive that 125% bonus on that first deposit, and then also be eligible for our $500 giveaway here on Tide Talk Live. We hope that we reach 30 signups on BetUS so we can give away that $500. That would make me so happy for you guys. Just what I wish I was eligible for it. I'm not though. It would not go over well if we entered ourselves into the drawing and we somehow won. So Jake and myself are not eligible for the $500, but you guys are if you sign up on BetUS using that link in the description below. All right, buddy. I really enjoyed the talk here on the running back room. Can't wait to dive into more position groups all throughout the offseason. So make sure you stay tuned to Tide Talk Live. And until next time, roll Tide.
Roll Tide.